Welcome to the headquarters of the Rolls-Royce Owners Club in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. I'm Tim Eunice, Executive Director, and I'd like to introduce you to this film of our 1997 annual meet. To those of you who were able to attend, I hope this film brings back some great memories. It sure does for me. And for those of you who were not able to attend, well, I hope viewing this encourages you to come to one of our future events. Our next meet is in Newport, Rhode Island, home of elegant mansions, home of America's Cup racing, and home on August 1st, 1998, of 400 Rolls-Royce and Bentleys proudly displayed on Hammersmith Farms. Before beginning the film, I'd like to say a few thank yous. First, to Fred Ward, our 1997 annual meet chairman, and to his terrific group of hard-working committee members, who literally spent thousands of hours working out every little detail, making this event one of the club's best ever. Thank you also to my staff, who always does a terrific job. And finally, thank you to Front Porch Productions, who came to us with this idea, put the whole package together, including the sponsors, and making this a great membership benefit. The homestead was an ideal setting for the members, for our cars, and for the meet. I hope you enjoy watching this film.
This video is sponsored by the Franklin Mint, creators of the finest automotive die-cast replicas in the world, including authorized Rolls-Royce models. For information, see the enclosed brochure or call 1-800-THE-MINT.
May 12, 1951 is when we started the club. And we have about 7,000 members today, so it has grown just beyond our wildest dreams and expectations at that time.
The response from some of the people has been very, very gratifying. So far, everybody seems to be having a good time, and that's all we really care about.
I think I'd rather polish really than work on the engine. Most of the parts of the engine are a little too complicated, but I can polish. Very nice. Thank you. Got an original body? Yes.
Marvelous car. I don't think I've ever seen one. They're pretty rare. Yeah.
Toodaloo! Off to the races.
the key. I can fix anything but a broken heart. Most Bentley drivers will use their cars maybe more on the road, and especially the older Bentleys, because well, they somehow give you this signal, they give you an urge, you know, they want to be driven, and they are a joy to drive, and there's so much difference from most other old cars, let's put it this way.
What we might say is that people driving Bentleys are really driving the real thing, and people with Rolls Royces merely have Bentleys with Rolls grills.
Most of the time you drive in the summer, the weather's with you, except today, of course. But even in weather like this, if you keep a certain speed, you know, you put on some rain gear, you just drive it. It's okay.
If you go to the presentation this afternoon, I'll get into this, but Rolls-Royce named their aircraft engines. Merlin is a bird of prey, and all the aircraft piston engines were named after birds of prey. The gas turbines were named after rivers, such as Trent, Tyne, things of that nature. This A1 cylinder has got ring problems. This engine, by the way, only has about a half an hour's running time, if that. And I know I've got serious ring problems with this cylinder, so when I bring the power up, you'll notice it's going to be pumping a lot of oil. In fact, it'll dump oil way over to the hotel. That's just the thing that even decides to run. Like I say, it has a personality of its own, so we'll see.
Come on in, Harold!
The Radford Society. There are a few people there named Harold.
Hi, Harold! Come on in, Harold! Harold! Harold!
Quite an organization. You have to be of the right frame of mind to understand what's going on, if you ever do.
My father was connected with Radford in a very strange sort of way. Most people are.
Is there any other way?
You know what that is?
It's a box.
It's a box.
That's my wallet. Wait a minute.
A little large.
It's empty.
But do you know what that is?
Full stick folder.
Yes, I know what it is.
Pretty close, but not quite.
It's a Rolls shaver.
It's a Rolls Razor.
Yes, indeed.
And do you know where I found it? I found it in my Bentley.
For anybody who doesn't know, and I expect you all do, Eleanor Thornton was the person who was the model for the Flying Lady. She was Lord Montagu's secretary, the first Lord Montagu's secretary. And she was with him on a British military mission to the Near East in World War I. The ship was torpedoed into the Mediterranean, and they both went down with the ship. But he bobbed up and survived, and she didn't. And so that was the tragic story of Eleanor Thornton. And the Flying Lady, of course, at the factory is often affectionately referred to as Nellie in her nightie.
Marvelous! Having a great time here.
That's a lovely piece of veneer, sir.
I say, look at this.
Yeah.
Is that in the veneer?
Yeah. No, but this is beautiful. This, you can't...
That's going to look pretty.
Butterfly wing.
Yeah, when you get that, here's the secret. When you get that wetted,
Wet it out and you can see
wet
what
it
you're
out,
going to get.
and it's going to be beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was the only guy who spit on the wood and rubbed it around. That's what I do. Thank you.
When I was working on the car the other day, I jammed and broke the thumbnail. Then I went to get the car cover out and got stung by some bees yesterday, so cutting myself was just sort of keeping on a roll, you know.
This is when you're a little too zealous. You develop what's called the old scrape through. And that means you get the wood now and you just throw it out the window, and as he suggested, go out for a gin and tonic.
It is disappointing though to see this bag and we're all going the same way.
All right, this is Reed and Andrew Key, and we're live here at the Allegheny Mountain Radio WCHG 107.1 Hot Springs, Virginia, watching the Bentley Rolls-Royce race.
Are you ready? Good. On your marks. Get set. Go.
They're racing around these cones, trying to punch these potatoes with these sticks. I don't see the point, but no, looks like they're having fun. We wish we were out there with one right now. We could drive one of those, I bet you.
Well, how much do you think a new one costs?
I say 200. I'd go into 100,000 to 200,000. But you got to bring in. They're pretty old. You got to give that. You got to add that to it.
Yes.
The date, because the older they get, the more expensive they are. Boy, he is speedy.
Yep. Here he comes. He's going really fast.
The guy's got a stick out there.
Yep.
Oh, he snags it good. Yep. I give that a 10.
2 for the potato. For not picking it up and not dropping it off.
Rolls-Royce. I think that's German. Maybe British.
I think it's
British. The Queen of England has one.
Yes, it does.
This is a 1937 4¼ litre Derby Bentley. It's been bodied by Gurney Nutting, known to be probably the most elegant coach builder of the time. Well, I think it's pretty sculptural. You know, I'm interested in art, and from a sculptural point of view, it's very appealing, especially the shapes at the rear. It's a sort of car that it doesn't say look at the driver, it says look at the car. And it's an exquisite bit of woodwork and curve. So the designer, a man called Blatchley, was really so enthusiastic about the body. There's nothing superfluous on it. There's no fancy handles or anything like that. There's an ash frame under this aluminium body, and the ash frame had disintegrated, and in places they'd held together the door supports. These are big doors, as you can see. They'd held them together with ordinary shelf brackets, just steel shelf brackets and fiberglass, and the weight of the doors is immense, and it was just impossible to restore. This toolbox is virtually identical to the toolbox that was fitted in 1937. Each of the tools has taken an inordinate amount of time, to say nothing else, to obtain, and the shapes in the original felt and in the wood cutout prove that that's the original layout. So it was auctioned in England, and a friend of mine bought it, and then I took over the restoration from him in 1991, finished it in 1995. So it's really an American car, and I wanted it to be seen in America, particularly at the RROC.
When we got the car a number of years ago, this bulldog mascot, symbolizing the British bulldog, came with the car. It's sort of a symbol of power, I guess. And I have pictures showing the car 40 years ago with a bulldog. Quite often you will see either no mascot on a vintage Bentley, or you will see the Flying Bee, it is called. And well, we thought, since it was there, has been with the car for so many years, we'd just leave it with the car. So it was a nice symbol for us.
This is my only car, and it's my first Rolls-Royce. And this car has been arisen from the dead. This car was neglected and left outside of someone's home for 14 years. And I've just completed an extensive renovation on the car.
Okay, these are connecting rods from a Merlin. And you notice that the blade and fork design, typical Rolls-Royce workmanship, particularly the pre-war stuff. Everything's machined and polished all over. I had these chrome plated to make a display piece out of them.
I love Rolls-Royces. I always have. Magnificent cars that carry magnificent coachwork. The company supports them very well by keeping parts in good supply for all of their cars that they made. They're very high quality. Everything is rebuildable. You don't have to get rid of things and change things. You can rebuild most everything. This has my usual personal touch, which is my Greek dolphin mascot, which goes on every car that I own. So anybody can instantly tell it's mine if it has that mascot on it.
This is our sixth meet, my wife and I.
First time I've actually shown. I've been on display before, but I thought this time, why not? And it's like having a party in the house. You clean the house, you see, so that it'll be ready for the party, and then you have a nice clean house for a year. Yeah, I think that's enough for the moment.
You know what? I'm going to run the jackets up to the room because they're so wet. I'm going to have them
They're
dry
damp
out.
only.
Wet. This one is wet.
That's damp only. Wet is. I know what wet is.
Semantics.
Yeah, I know what wet is.
This is really sightseeing.
This Merlin is a Packard-built Dash 1. The Merlin specifics are it's a V12, liquid-cooled, 1,650 cubic inches.
And everybody point to the butter knife on the table. That's beautiful, that's what it is. And the little plate that the butter knife is setting on is called a side plate. Butter plate or side plate. Any guesses as to what side your finger bowl would go on once you get it?
Right.
On the left. On the left.
Oh, yeah.
Your water glass is always to the right. Everyone's eating with their mouth closed. When you get it from the table and you've been excused, but you're going to come back, where do you lay your napkin? Any ideas what side it goes on? Where's it go?
There's just so much that you can find out about an area that you keep saying, I didn't know that, I didn't know that, and then you can share this with other people. And so you don't have to do the tour in your own backyard. You can move, but don't get farther than 300 miles because you're spending too much time on the road.
Top of the
Right, atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure.
Oh, okay. But that's usually the overflow too, and that's where it's picking up the.
This is two things,
pressure.
yeah, this
Right.
is two
Okay.
things. This is an overflow, but it's also an air vent.
Right, right.
There's a valve right here, and there's two adjustments. One is on the camera for focus of the camera, and one is on the focus of the scope. And then, just a matter of changing directions one way or another, and trying to move it down through passages. It's real dark. That's the up and down. That's the center of the valve. Looks to me.
There's Rolls-Royce.
Whoa! Look at that!
Yeah,
My
all
God!
right.
Get that on camera. Tape that, man. Just like Doug White's car.
High beam. Low beam. On.
We're not looking to give anybody a gift, but we're not also trying to find every defect. So use discretion. Think of it how you would like to be treated if you were being judged.
Any questions by anybody? No questions, let's go to work.
I was going to say, I've been up since 5:30.
No Fruit Loops until the car is clean.
You know, we wouldn't wash them too much. We might take off the paint, you see.
Close to the upper end of the switch up there. See, if it's, I'll go to 80, it won't register.
You have a city horn, and you have a country horn. Right?
This is an English walnut twin vanity, all original. Revealing the mirrors.
It's a 1933 Phantom II. Body by Freestone and Webb. I'd be like white knuckles driving this car.
Hey, you tell me when you're ready.
If a car doesn't have the shutters on, unless we're trying to break a tie between two cars, we don't deduct for that.
W125, a 54 James Young Silver Wraith. This is Cliff Alexander in his 1934 3.5 liter Bentley H.J. Muller. This is Jack Sheevey, past president, winning the Ken Morrell long distance award for a vintage Bentley, driving the car 1,105 miles all the way from sunny Florida.
My hope is to win best of the best prize, the Royce Memorial Trophy.